What's up, everybody? This is the DeFi enthusiast from the Crypto Ronins. I hope that you're all doing well. So today we're going to be continuing our lessons, and today's module it's all about understanding the tools that you need in order to navigate the crypto markets. Because without these tools, without having an understanding, you're just shooting arrows in the dark, right? And and what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give you guys a guideline, a full roadmap to succeed as crypto traders or investors, and where to enter, where not to enter, what tools to use that'll help you, in succeeding in your crypto journey. So by the time we're done with this module, okay, what you'll have is a complete crypto analytics setup, right? Um, Professional grade dashboards, real-time news flow monitoring, charts ready to track Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoin gems, notifications and alerts for market moving events, a command center that gives you an edge over 95% of the beginners. Okay. And this step matters because without this step, right, it's all about, signal versus noise, right? So we don't want to be confused. Okay. Real traders, they don't guess, they monitor, track, and react with precision. Okay. So this step gives you the exact software setup used by top crypto analysts and altcoin hunters. Okay. On-chain sleuths, long-term investors, and narrative forecasters. So I'm giving it all to you here in this video. You want to stay in tune because um, it's going to be really, really useful for you guys. So watch this entire video. I think you guys are going to love, what I'm about to give you, because this is like an entire roadmap to not guess the markets, to kind of like, you know, be ahead of the game, basically. So, um, so yeah, so your core tool, categories are, well, first it's the charting tool. Okay, this is where things like, let's look at, if we like things like TradingView come in, okay, or coin market cap, data light, coin gecko, coin, all of that. So the first thing is about, understanding, how to chart things, right? And that's where TradingView comes in. It's going to look something like this, okay? And basically, actually, this is let me show this to you guys. This is a website, okay? And we'll talk about this very soon. Right now, there's an 80% off, if you set up an account with them. But that's, we'll talk about this in a bit. So, the first thing is understanding that, you need to read price action, trend direction, support and resistance, breakout levels, bullish or bearish structure, right? And basically, um, TradingView, right, is the gold standard for this. As you can see, you can set up everything here. That means setting up moving averages, different tools, where to buy, where not to buy. It has where the tops are for the first run, for the first leg, and then the second leg, and then so on and so forth. This is like the BTC and versus gold ratio chart. Okay, but setting up TradingView is very important if you really want to understand everything. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, the and then you need to know, then is the fundamentals dashboard as well. This is where, in my view, things like understanding where things are, like um, real revenue, growing users, active development, strong tokenomics, institutional involvement. So for that, you would use things like Token Terminal, Artemis, Masari. These show you which altcoins are winners and which are hype. And of course, as you can see out here, right? If we look at this, um, if we look at an example here, right? Here's a tracking tool. It literally is showing you all the key things that you need, showing you all the networks, okay, and It's showing you the deposit volume, borrow volume, repayment volume, liquidation volume, total revenue, protocol revenue, supply side. So this is where decentralized finance comes in, guys. DeFi, right? To understand it. So let's say, all the networks are, Arbitrum is a chain, Avalanche chain, Phantom is a blockchain, Harmony is a blockchain, Optimism, and Polygon, right? So it's showing you everything. Total value locked, how much is in protocol maker DAO, which is network. It even tells you the network Ethereum. Let's say it has 8.86 billion total value locked. It's showing you every single thing, what's going on, what's happening with Aave, for example. It's got 3 billion here. It's then we've got Aave on the networks, like Polygon, Avalanche, and Ethereum. Okay, that's got $6.21 billion. Okay, more than $6 billion locked in there. Okay, then Just Lend is just on Tron, on the Tron blockchain, right? You might have heard of Tron before. Justin Sun, if you guys don't know, he's really, really popular. He was once very popular, amongst the South Asian market. Besides Binance, it was Justin Sun, so it's his blockchain called Tron. So this particular one, as an example, right? I mean, of course, these things change in real time, but at this, the example here shows that it's got more than $3 billion locked in valuation, right? Aave, again, on Aave version 3, on Aave protocol, which is the biggest lending protocol in crypto. Very, very monumental project, which we've talked about way earlier in our private groups, and that's where a lot of our alpha is, where we give everything in real time. So Aave was something that we talked about ages ago. Uh, like I said, they are literally on every blockchain basically, and Aave's, if you see on Avalanche, on Optimism, and on Polygon here, and we've got Arbitrum and Phantom here, and then another one that's more than 3 billion locked. So yeah, this is like the total value locked. This gives you a good, what, when you would click on pools, right? For example, it will show you, the type of pools that are there. So pools are basically things like, the liquidity pools. Where does, because you're your own bank, right? You're providing liquidity on these exchanges. So let's say you had, let's say you bought some stable coins, okay, for, let's say, $1,000, okay, and you wanted to provide liquidity for your asset, and basically providing liquidity also when people trade, whatever liquidity you provide, you get a certain share based on the liquidity that you provided for every transaction that takes place on the platform. Okay, so that's where Aave comes in, or any other lending protocol, or any other decentralized exchange for that matter. But because why we're talking about Aave here is because it is the gold standard for the borrowing, lending, and DeFi protocols. That's what it is. That's why we're talking about Aave. But there are many others, you know. But basically, when you provide liquidity in the pools, okay, so it's like, let's say you had $1,000, okay, so in stablecoin, so you put, let's say you wanted to set up a chart for Ethereum and USDC, okay, which is one of the stable coins, which is the most regulated stable coin in the space. So what you would do is you put 50% into, let's say, whatever $500 is worth in Ethereum right now, that and $500 worth in USDC, okay, and then you're going to leave a little bit of money for gas fees, maybe $1, or less, and basically then you provide that liquidity, and it gets added into that pool, into that particular pool. And whenever there's transactions taking place on the platform, and let's say people are trading for USDC for Ethereum, you earn a little bit on top of that. Okay, so a lot of people, they have an instance. It's like, it's like being you become your own banker, right? So if you had a huge sum of money, let's say, and you provide liquidity, the fees on the protocol, what they'll be paying you, you'd be earning quite a decent amount of money there, guys. Like, serious amount of good money. So that's why, it's important to remember that, the assets is where, what chain, what type of assets they have, historical data. You can look at literally any coin that you could think of. You could put the contract there, and, show you the historical data, when it came out, when it was bought, where the all-time high was, so on and so forth. Competition is where, you can literally see, what if you're looking into a project, what are its competitors, what chains are competing, or which other projects are doing similar things, and maybe you'd find something better going on. Maybe there's more volume on a particular project that you see here in the competition, right? Which is linked, which is exactly doing the same things that possibly the project that you believe in is doing, and that'll make you make better financial decisions. Or maybe if you're very, very, very feeling very, really, really strong about your, particular asset that you've invested in, why you still think that it could outperform this one that is doing better right now, because you're much earlier to the narrative, and maybe they're building something which is which is they have some feature which that other protocol doesn't have. When we look at the technical side, when we look at the fundamental side of it, the deep fundamental analysis of a project. Okay, so these type of things, these type of tools, that give you more clarity and more, and to give you more confidence as well, to realize what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to build, right? So it's very, very important, guys. Very, very important. Just remember that. So this is really important. And so this way, you'll see the real revenue, growing users, active development, strong tokenomics, institutional involvement, um, everything. Okay, and obviously this also allows you to then what's another important thing is to see on-chain tracking tools, and that's where things like token terminal come into play. So if you look at token terminal, it's literally the go-to place. There's a free account, there's a paid account, of course, and we'll talk about this further. But basically, what this would allow you to do is this would allow you to basically see, watch the big players. What moves the whales are making. What is the smart money doing? In the space, VC venture capital wallets. Let's say a project that you liked, you knew that a certain VC was invested in that, or they got a particular airdrop, for whatever investment they did with the project. What are their wallets doing exactly? Team allocation. So whenever a team comes out with a project, a lot of times the team, obviously, they have allocated a certain amount of tokens to themselves as well. Of course, every project is different. Some people are just fair launching everything, and they don't have pre-allocated tokens. But if the project does, you can see exactly where the team, how many tokens does the team have, what can they do, because let's say the total supply of a token is let's just say 10 million coins, right? Or let's say 1 billion coins, let's say, and the circulating supply is sitting at 10 million. But let's say that the team has a supply, a team has an allocation of, let's say, 100 million tokens, right? If they release it out into circulation, that's definitely going to decrease the price of the token, right? So token unlocks, seeing those type of things, when a vesting period ends, when teams are releasing tokens, things like that, or inflows and outflows, all of this is seen through token terminal. Okay, guys. So very, very important as well. And of course, you can use DeFiLlama as well, right? And that's another one for sure. And DeFiLlama could show you, exactly, what's going on. They can chart things out for you. You can, create diagrams. What each blockchain is doing, what certain assets are doing. It'll give you a visual representation of what's going on the blockchain. And I think these are really, really useful tools, guys. And of course Arkham as well. So Nansen, Arkham, DeFiLlama, these will show you when whales move. When whales move, the markets move, and this is your radar system. Consider these type of tools as your radars, system, including token terminal as well. Okay, and and then of course, what we have, right, is, and then of course it's important to also see news flow and narrative monitoring. Okay, and things like um you know those type of tools, um like for example, on Twitter, Telegram channels, narrative trackers like Kaido AI. Although Kaido now has been recently been affected because Twitter changed its API, and now it can't really exactly track everything, but it used to at one point. So if you had Kaido, you could literally be looking at things like this, and seeing what's going on. Like what exactly is that? Like a whole dashboard for every important factor that you're looking into. You know, um, and and of course, that would give you a better edge on your investment decisions or on your trading activity or what type of moves you're trying to make, right? So, an entire dashboard of tools in one place. And, what type of coins are being mentioned, how many times they're being mentioned, what is their social ranking, all of that. It's all interconnected, guys, and it's really, really important. So these tools, they help you out with all of this. And Twitter X is great for that too. Telegram channels, narrative trackers, like I've said, this helps you stay ahead of retail and not chase them. A curated Twitter list shown on screen for crypto analysts and news, right? That's important. And also Cointelegraph, for example. And so you gotta be ahead of the game. Understand where things are heading. Understand what narratives are hot right now. What sub niches you should be looking at. All of this helps you out. Very, very important, guys. So these are the type of tools you'd be looking at, right? And of course, another one is Dex Screener. A lot of tokens that launch on Solana and on Ethereum or many things, or any other chain for that matter, when they initially come out, Dex Screener, automatically can see, what new tokens are out. So you can literally be looking at micro caps, which can be very, very high risk, but you can literally see what's going on, which token came out when, if you really want to enter something, if you want to make a quick term trade, if you really believe that somebody is building something, you can enter in very early. So Dex Screener is like, a place where thousands of tokens per day are, they come out. You can like literally see them, what's trending. Exactly. Also, it shows you what tokens are trending. So if it's, whatever that token is, you can see, what the chart has done, how many green candles it has had, what is, how long it took for it to reach its all-time high. What was what was it? What was the all-time low? How old the coin is? What is it doing, or why is it trending? And so these are all tools to give you more clarity. Okay, guys. So just remember this, guys. And so now what I want you guys to do is to basically set up your Ronin command center. So step one would be to create a free account, right, on TradingView. Okay. And basically, right, once you've done that, then you're going to add Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana to the to your watch list. Okay, once you go on TradingView, and and you can just set up a free account. You don't have to do a paid account yet. And then you set up the simple indicators like 20 EMA. Basically. If you don't know what the EMA is, it's the exponential moving average, guys. It's a technical stock chart indicator that tracks price trends by giving more weight and significance to recent data points. Okay, so you can look into that, right? 50 EMA, 200 EMA. Experiment with those. Then create two watch lists. Majors, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then altcoin gems. Whatever you like. And then save it as a Ronin dashboard uh, version one, just as an experiment. So, in our free report, if you went through our landing page, I mean, and basically through our website, through when you signed up, you would have received a bonus, right? Of the coins that we gave you a watch list, to download. You can track those as well, and so now you have real charts that help you understand the market, right? And then you build your fundamental dashboard, search for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ondo, let's say, which was part of our watch list, right? And look at the revenue, fees, and active users. Sort that by highest 30-day revenue. Book bookmark the leaderboard. explore these tools, guys. It's very, very important. Explore them. Okay. And of course, then, then the on-chain monitoring setup, choose one, Nansen, Light, or Arkham Free, and track 3 smart wallets, track exchange, track the exchange when BTC and Ethereum flows, track your watch list projects. Okay. You, you can see what the whales are doing, and, there's no guessing here. So that's great, right? Um, and then of course, for news and things like that, to understand, this is what I call the Ronin market radar. What you would do is you'd go to CryptoSlate, WU blockchain, CoinDesk, Whale Chart, Ethereum Daily, Sentiment Feed, and all of these are sources, for your news flow, where your news flow becomes your signal and not noise. Okay. So CryptoSlate, CryptoSlate, WU blockchain, CoinDesk, CoinDesk, Whale Chart, WHALECHART, ETH Daily, ETHDAILY, and SANTIMENT feed, FEED, Sentiment Feed. These are all Twitter X accounts. You can look at them right on X as well. You can go through them. You can look at their websites. You can even search them on Google. Okay, and you'll find them. And finally, what I want you guys to do is to identify the BTC market structure, open TradingView, look at the Bitcoin chart, switch to the 1-day time frame, right? And see the trend direction, what is uptrend or downtrend, last higher high and then last higher low. Have an understanding. Just see the basic things, so that you have an understanding. This alone gives you more clarity than 10 YouTube videos, guys. Okay, and then run a fundamental snapshot. Pick one project from your watch list. Okay, let's say, let's say you picked Ondo, and then check its revenue, check its user growth. Note one thing that impressed you. Note one risk, and you're now doing 80% of what analysts do. That's where it is. Keep it simple, guys. Don't overcomplicate stuff. Okay. And then, of course, then set one alert on Arkham and Nansen, example, exchange inflows, Bitcoin, right? Now, when big money moves, you'll know instantly. And then, your breakthrough movement, by the time you finish the setup, something will shift within you internally. You would go from crypto is too confusing and overwhelming to, like, I have a system, I know where to look, I feel in control. And that confidence compounds. The more you do it, the more you go through these step-by-step processes, the more you explore, the deeper you go, the better your comfort level becomes. Okay. So, it took me a long time to navigate through all of this, and I'm trying to give it to you in, like, this, time frame. But you got to explore. I can only tell you what to do, but I can only show you the door, but you're the one that has to walk through it, right? So when you arrive here, right, you'll already have your tools ready, and you'll follow the lessons. If this is still overwhelming for you guys, if you don't have a lot of time on your hands, then of course, join. Like I've been saying, we're here to do all the work for you. So this is where our newsletter comes in, and you can sign up, and you'll be getting a lot of alpha here. And of course, if you want personal mentorship and all of that, then join our premium Discord. That's where a lot of if you want personal mentorship, all of that, then that is where you should be going. And all the links are going to be in the description. I hope this video was useful for you. I hope you got some clarity out of it. Okay, guys, join our newsletter, to avoid any confusions. The markets are crazy right now, but once you start understanding the information that we're giving you, it's going to make navigating these crazy crypto markets in a much easier way. Okay, guys, so this is me, the DeFi enthusiast from the Crypto Ronins, signing out. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Take care, guys. Bye.